Welcome back to Orlando Out of Context. I'm Brian.
And I'm Stephanie.
So before we got started, Stephanie was in the pre-show. Stephanie was saying that she went back and listened to our first episode of 2020?
I believe so. So we had the New Year's Eve episode, and then we had the Welcome to the 20s episode. And we
what did we talk about? Yeah, what did we talk about?
We kind of talked about some things we wanted to do and some things that were happening. We talked about Lucky's Market closing, some businesses that hit the skids before COVID even came. We talked about wanting to do the scenic boat tour, which we did. And we didn't really talk about that much, honestly. By the end of listening to it, I was like, well, that didn't help me very much. But, you know.
So the way that I prepared for this episode, which was very little, but was basically what I told you what I was going to do, is I was going to kind of go through my pictures on my phone and let that spark some stuff. So
but can I start with one thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
What I did learn is how much I miss our audio quality from being live and being on our professional microphones, because I didn't realize till I listened to those old episodes how terrible this Zoom bullshit has been for the quality of our podcast. Like, it's terrible. Like, listening to the old episode, I was like, oh my God, this sounds so good.
What we need is we need to be like on a network. Like Heather McMahon is on a network, and so all she does is like record and then send it off to a producer, because hers still sound really good because she's like got a full team like helping her produce her episods. So if there's anyone that wants to donate their time, because we don't got time, we don't got the money to pay for that, but
I think it's like the quality of the equipment. So like, you know, if we had a guest, if we did have a company that we worked with, they would send that person who's our guest the equipment that they needed to hook up to get the quality audio that to use, you know?
Yeah.
This recording through I do feel like using the stereo was a little better. I did like that better than the Zoom. Like today, I briefly listened back to our Lego Explore Orlando interview that came out yesterday.
Right.
And there were some parts of it that I was not happy with.
So do you know what I think that stereo does better? And I'm sorry, guys, we're talking like shop here right now. But do you know what I feel like stereo does better is like when we talk over each other, it captures that better. Like when you can't talk over people on Zoom.
That's what I realized, because it was 4 of us talking. There were parts where all 4 of us were talking and it sounded terrible.
Right.
So, but anyway.
Right.
That's the first thing that I miss from last year is our audio quality.
Well, I mean, I definitely think that is something to be missed. So this is what I the conclusion that I came to, because I was going through and I was like, okay, what are the stuff that like we might have talked about and that like we did together? So, you know, I went through January. There really wasn't much in January, if anything. I came to February and we did the boat tour, which was amazing.
Go ahead. I have in my notes, in January, my mom was here, but her and I kind of just chilled. We didn't really do anything new, I don't think. Right. So, and then of course I went to Texas, which was one of the highlights of my personal year, visiting my friend in Texas. And then in February, my friend Gina came, and we took Gina on the boat tour with us.
We love that.
And we had a great time with the boat tour. I would definitely do that again.
So the official name of it, for those who are listening, the official name of it, if you want to look it up, it's called the Winter Park Scenic Boat Tour. And Winter Park is just north of Orlando, basically a suburb of Orlando. It's a beautiful, beautiful place in Orlando, and they have lakes throughout the community, and there are like little causeways that connect the lakes, and so
Even
you go on this
some of the houses had their own little like boat
docks.
garage, like where you just
Yeah.
pull the boat in, and it's part of your property.
So this boat tour has been running since the 1930s, and it's just a really great tour. It's I don't know how much is it, like $14 or
Yeah, it was
something.
cheap. It was like $14.
It's an
Um,
hour. It's an hour long experience,
the
and
people
this
there,
is the time. This is the
let
time
me
to
know
do
what's
it.
up.
When the weather is cooler is when you want to go and do this.
And don't quote me because it's been a while, but I feel like the boat tour runs every single day except for Christmas.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that on the sign. These
Yes.
people know what's up. They're really good with like loading the boat and being, because when we went, it was kind of like packed. I feel like it might have been a weekend,
Right.
but they were loading the boats, getting people in, getting people out. Um, but call me ignorant, but honestly, I did not know these kind of houses existed in Florida, or not in Orlando.
Right.
Like some of these homes were huge and beautiful and
And
very expensive.
some of them are older homes too. They're older like estates. Um, but there's wealth in Orlando.
Well,
So
I'm still looking for it.
it's there. So basically, I went through that. I got up to the boat thing, and then I kept scrolling. And I was like, okay, I went to like a friend's birthday party here. Because I'm looking at my gallery of photos to see what I took
Mm-hmm.
pictures of, and I have pictures of filming for Chloe, and pictures of us going to maybe the studios, and then everything like just stops because then in March we go into COVID, and it kind of just
Wah,
stopped right
wah,
there.
wah.
But
Well,
one of the things that we did right before COVID is that we did go ride Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway together. And
oh,
I don't
you
know
know,
if we really talked about that at all on the podcast.
no, because that was actually we had COVID on our mind already
We
because
did.
we were like, okay, we got to get in the park because everyone's scared and they don't want to go to the park. So we got to get in there and get on that ride while the wait is short.
Right.
And do you remember something I'll never forget? Like I just remember that day like loading my backpack full of like wipes, like
Uh-huh.
Clorox wipes and like just keeping my hands in my pocket and just walking in the line and not touching anything
Right.
and just trying to like be good. And what do we see but this man
Oh,
standing in the queue
yes.
line
Yes.
digging his pointer finger into a
Yes.
cup of cheese,
Yes.
pretzel cheese, and licking
This
his finger and dunking it in the cheese and licking his finger, dunking it in the cheese and licking his finger. And I was like, that is disgusting.
it's disgusting on in a non-COVID time would be
Yes, because
nasty.
he's at the park. You're touching like ropes and you're touching like rides and you're touching all kinds of dirty shit. Why are you licking cheese off your fingers?
That literally because I witnessed it too. We unfortunately had to witness this at the same time, like we were together. But that imagery of him doing that will never leave my mind because
Oh, during COVID.
it was so intense the way he was doing it. Like he didn't care who was around. He didn't
Nope.
care who was watching him.
Nope.
It was full force finger into, I guess, probably leftover nachos from a pretzel.
Yeah.
The cheese
The
sauce they
cheese.
give you.
Disgusting.
Nasty. Okay, we have somebody with a comment.
Oh my god, that is so gross.
Isn't it? It's so gross.
It's Angelica.
Ugh.
Yeah, so disgusting. Yeah, and that was like right at the start of COVID.
Also,
And you're right.
that's disgusting. Like, I don't know why that sticks out in my memory when you tell me that when you talk about waiting in line. Because even though we thought we were going to get a short wait, it still was, we still waited a long time in that ride. in that
And
line.
that was before social distancing at
Yeah.
Disney, period. So
And that was before we were
yes,
wearing masks.
because COVID was already like here basically,
And I
and
think that
it's
was
so
actually days before the park really closed for good.
it
Like
it
when we went to
was.
the park, we knew that Disney had already set a date to close the park down
Yeah,
when
it's
we were there.
interesting because I haven't thought about this in a while. Like I haven't thought about it at all. But like if you think about it, like we knew the park was going to be closing. The
Yeah,
parks were
we
going to be
knew.
closing, and to think about it, like there was no social distancing in place, even though COVID was a thing, and there was no masks yet. Like that wasn't a
Nope.
thing. There wasn't any of that, and I don't think that day that we went, even the day I went on the very last day to Epcot, when the last day the parks were open, and there were no masks being worn.
Because honestly, I don't know about you, but I only thought the park was going to be closed down for like a couple weeks.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
I literally thought it was going to be like 2 weeks, 4 weeks, we're done. I really only
Exactly.
thought that. That's
Exactly.
why I wasn't racing to get to the park because I was like, well, it's fine. I mean, I go this long normally without going to the park, so it'll
Exactly.
just be like me forgetting about it. But
So, go
in
ahead.
February too, I went to see the manatees for the first time
Oh,
at the
that's right, you
Springs.
did. And you went to which? You went to Blue Springs?
Yeah, I went to Blue Springs, and we also went to Bok Tower Gardens. So when Gina was here, we got a bunch of stuff in. I do want to go back to Bok Tower Garden because I want to make a TikTok there. Um, and it's just a nice. I'm waiting for my mom to come because I want to take her to Bok Tower Garden.
When's your mom come? Is she have a set or no?
I don't know. She said she wanted to come in January, but we don't know what's going to be happening with travel restrictions. Where my mom lives, they've re-shut down like things like restaurants and indoor dining and stuff like that. So we're just gonna play it by ear. I don't know.
Gotcha. But yeah, then we basically we we closed down, in March,
And
and
then the world was blessed with the Tiger King.
oh, I thought you were gonna say TikTok.
Well, TikTok as well, but I mean, TikTok had been around for a long time. We just weren't hip to it quite yet.
Right.
But do you remember those nights that we sat up watching Tiger King together?
Yeah,
Like, at that point in my
absolutely.
life, that was like the highlight of my day
Yes.
because you were sitting alone all day by yourself, and I was
Yeah.
at work all day, like dealing with
Crazy work.
craziness at work. And just coming home and watching Tiger King was all the entertainment I needed right then and there.
Absolutely. So, like, and I was gonna say too, there were some other screenshots. I remember when I tried to do the Netflix watch party, and I think one time it actually worked with the movie Hook, but Netflix watch party it just didn't work that well. But we tried that. I think you tried that too at one point, the
Yeah.
Netflix watch party. So we were trying to do like things to like stay entertained, and then I was like taking walks a lot, like
Yeah,
just
we were
getting
all
out
taking walks a lot.
because we were literally in the house, like it's like stuck in the house. I was playing video games and like just stuck in the house. And
Bored in the house and in the house bored.
yeah, exactly.
But I think everyone was.
Yeah, I mean everyone was, but it's almost like kind of like I'll look at back at that. Like I was looking at some of these pictures and I kind of felt almost like nostalgic about it in a
Me
way.
too. Me too, honestly.
I was
But
like, oh,
like I told you, those times for me were okay because I was getting a lot of attention from all the people that I wanted attention from because they didn't have anything else to do but call me on the phone or video chat me. So
everyone was available. I started
everyone was
draw
available to me. Yeah.
I started drawing on my iPad, I remember. Like there was stuff happening that was, like Like
The
it was
only
good
the only
stuff
bad
too.
thing was when our air conditioner broke, and
Oh
that was
gosh.
the worst thing that happened to me all year. I'm
That
not gonna
was
lie.
so basically the air conditioner broke like what? Like a week or two into like really shut
Yeah,
down of COVID. Like a week or two in, like when it started to get hot, because like March is when COVID really started to hit, right? And then
yeah.
it starts getting hot, what, like in April,
But
April,
it was those days that we didn't have the air. It was blazing.
yeah, it was warm. Um,
Oh God.
and it was a fiasco to get it fixed.
Yeah, it was. But thank God it's fixed. We're moved on. But that was a bad time.
Oh, you know what? Another thing I just I was just looking at a picture of it. What I gotta look at the date here and see what the date is. This is April 29th is when this picture was taken. And you know what the picture is of?
What?
The picture is of the air fryer.
I didn't know we got the air fryer that late into the game.
Yeah, I don't feel like it was that late in the game, but maybe this picture was just taken late. I feel like the air fryer came in at least the beginning of April.
We
Like,
fucked it up with that air fryer.
does anyone else listening right now, do you guys, because we're recording this live, does anyone like use their air fryer like the way that we use our air fryer? Because I'm the one who purchased the air fryer, and I picked like the smallest one because I was like, oh, like I don't know if we're gonna really use this. And I was like, let me get this. Let me get the smallest one. I wanted to be able to put it away. And let me tell you that air
That
fryer
thing ain't never been put away, not one day.
has never been put away. That thing, it's probably time for it to be replaced,
Yeah,
honestly.
I think it's shit the bed.
Um, there's times when we use it like every single day, that air fryer. So
But
it
now I really want a new one. Like I want one of those ones that have multi tiers, like multi trays. Because when you're trying to cook like nuggets and fries for two people, it's not, you have to do like 3 rounds of cooking in there.
right,
It's not enough.
right.
And then you don't have everything hot all at the same time. So I guess nobody likes the air fryer. I've seen a couple
Nobody
little
cares
likes
about
come up, but
yeah, nobody's put in a comment
yeah,
about their air fryer.
that's sad.
Any air frying tips? Um, we basically cooked everything in an air fryer. We've made brownies in an air fryer. We've
You cooked raw salmon in the air fryer?
Oh yeah, I've cooked salmon in the air fryer, chicken all the time. It's great for food
Cheese
prep.
fries?
Oh yeah, everything. Healthy stuff, non-healthy stuff. Oh, it's the best for heating leftovers up. And
Oh
it's the
yeah.
best for heating up Steph's favorite, the
Mountain melt?
the no, the tots
Oh
um from
yes.
Hungry Pants. So which is something
Hungry
else
Pants tots.
that's something else that I have coming up now. Hungry Pants, which we have a great friendship with the guys over at Hungry Pants, Alex and Joey. Hungry Pants opened up their window, their exterior window. So they closed down just like all the other restaurants. Most of the restaurants closed down, and they closed down completely for like, I don't know, 2 weeks at least. Um, but during the time that they were closed down, they found a solution and opening up an exterior window. So I just kind of wanted to lead into that in a way of talking about how restaurants during this time found different ways to service their clients, a lot of delivery happening. Um, and I was excited when we could start going back to Hungry Pants and some of the places that had been closed or very limited. We did Ale House a few times, and whenever we did Ale
Yeah.
House, it was a very limited menu, but they were still
Yeah, everything.
serving. They were still serving.
I really liked how they pivoted with that window. They were lucky to have the window because, I don't know, it just kind of was a weird occurrence that they would have a window because it's kind of random. Like before COVID, you would look at the window and you'd be like, "What the hell is that window for?" Like it's in an odd spot, but it's really nice. They themed it really nice. They set like like a little bar up outside showcasing their drinks, and they kept with the theme of the restaurant, and it was really handy to have the window.
Yeah, it's great. And now they're open. They're open back up, and they have full full service with physical distancing and all that. But I just saw those pictures, and that kind of reminded me of that time that they were closed, and then they reopened.
It's funny that you say nostalgia about that time because I kind of felt the same thing as I was looking through my camera roll and thinking about, those things that we did during that time. And then
Yeah, they're
also I saw a TikTok video. I saw it a couple weeks ago. And you know how there was like during quarantine there was like a certain bunch of songs that were being replayed
yes,
on TikTok a lot, a lot, a
yeah,
lot. And
yeah.
somebody had made a TikTok that was just like a quick bit of each one of those songs. And they
Uh-huh.
were like, does anyone have PTSD when they hear these songs? Because like
I
those songs bring you back to all the months that we were scrolling through TikTok trapped in our houses.
yeah. I don't know. There's definitely a sense of like nostalgia, and it's not like negative. Like I don't feel
No, not at all.
negativity. I actually don't feel tons of negativity about this year. I've tried to make the most of it. I
You
mean, there's some
are
definitely.
thriving this year. You were
uh,
thriving, trust me.
this year
Everything
has
was good
been
for you.
this year has been really interesting, and I think, yeah, I just think it's been crazy. So,
I think some
um,
people, I'm jealous in a way that some people have been lucky enough to like keep their jobs and still be able to work in the same capacity, but with more freedom for their personal life. So,
yeah,
I have friends that have spent more time with their children. You have been able to spend the holidays with your family. Just basically like still being able to be just as productive at work, but having a healthier family life.
yeah,
So I think everyone that got that chance, that's pretty awesome.
yeah. I think there's definitely some positives that have come out of just like being together. You're like forced to being together and having that time. Like even us, like we were, kind of forced to be together. I'm glad that we were in quarantine together because it would have sucked if, I had decided to move out and then before COVID and then I was stuck
Yeah.
by myself, you know what I mean? So I
It would have
think
been
that
lonely.
yeah, it would have been lonely and it would have been, I don't know, but that's why, like, I think there's that piece of nostalgia that comes with, I don't think it would have been the same nostalgia if we hadn't been doing things together. Even though we were stuck inside,
Yeah.
we were still like figuring things out, you know.
Yeah.
And you're right, it's the whole family thing too. Like I came here in June even, and I worked during the time that I came here to Oklahoma because right now I'm in Oklahoma. And then I was able to come again during a longer period of time during the holidays, and it changed. I think COVID changed the way work is done. It's interesting because I think a lot of businesses are realizing they don't need to have these huge offices with full of
Yeah.
people in them, and people can be just as productive at home for sure. So, um, let's see. So I'm scrolling through, and I'm kind of, I guess I'm up till June now, in terms of my
So in
pictures because I
June,
think
my
it's just easier.
sister came. My sister
Oh,
came in
that's
June. I don't think we did anything that was like
I
new,
wasn't
new.
here. I wasn't here.
I don't.
She came while I was in Oklahoma, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. We just
Yeah.
one thing that I do remember that I haven't done yet is we went to the aquarium on International Drive. and that was new for me. I had never been there. We did the wax museum and the aquarium.
I've done the wax museum, and the wax museum is good. It's a wax museum, but I mean,
And it's
it's
ever
a
changing. The wax museum changes. So I had been like years ago when it first opened, and when I went with my sister, I did see some new figurines and some new different sets. So,
they always
if
have
you
free, or not free, but they always have like kind of at least one wax figure outside, so you can kind of get a picture of them outside. So if you want to like a teaser, and if you're not sure if you want to go in, there's
yeah.
always a figure on the outside. But it's I don't think we really said where it is, but it's in Icon. What is it now? Icon Park. They've changed names so many times,
Yeah,
but it's
Icon
by
Park.
the big Ferris, the big Ferris wheel, the big, what we used to call in the
The eye.
beginning, the Orlando Eye. That's where it's at, and that's where the aquarium's at too. So what did you think of that aquarium?
Oh, it was better than I thought it was. I mean, I didn't expect too much because when you look at that space from the outside, it doesn't seem very big. But the way they have it utilized and the amount of different animals they had in there, it's pretty good. It
Hmm.
was cool.
So something
Yeah.
interesting here in Oklahoma is, you know how malls are dying. So one of the malls here, an aquarium has gone into the mall,
Oh wow. Like
which,
a big one
and
or
some, I don't know. But so when I first got here and started to do lives here, and people from Oklahoma were coming into lives, or they were in the comments, they were like, "Oh, you should go to the aquarium." And I looked it up, and I was like, "Oh, I think I'm gonna not do that because
pass.
I live in Orlando. We have all like way better stuff." But it's just interesting that, I don't know, that came to mind because, and once again, the whole mall discussion of malls are dying, and so there's vacant
So sad.
spots.
I could do a
But
whole stereo conversation on the dying of the mall.
oh,
But
we have a comment.
okay, play it.
I think that's becoming a little bit more common. We have an aquarium, which is odd, in one of the malls in Concord, North Carolina.
Oh,
Okay.
so mall aquariums are becoming a thing.
The
Goodbye
hot
Macy's and hello aquarium.
the hot new thing, huh? Jeez.
I wonder. It must be, though. It's kind of expensive, right, to maintain
I bet
an
it's a lot of
aquarium.
money because all the water, and then you have to make sure you keep salt water and make sure
You
they
treat it, and
just by watching
yeah.
Dr. Dan there or whatever his name is on the Animal Kingdom show, taking care of all the animals at Epcot.
Listen, who has watched that Animal Kingdom show, and who feels sorry for Dr. Dan? He has to be everywhere.
Well, maybe he gets paid a lot. Or maybe he's a fake doctor and he's just on there for Disney Plus.
I think I don't know. Dr. Dan can't be in all those places all the time. And you know what? We've talked about this before. Dr. Dan does marine uh mammals. He does he does
African
all
animals.
animals. Yeah. Like, aren't you supposed to be like specialized in certain animals to like be practicing on them?
That
Any
is a little
vets in the
odd.
room? I think that's a little odd.
Well, on to my biggest memory that I found in my phone for July 10th was our triumphant return to Magic Kingdom for the pass holder preview.
Yes. I mean, that kind of started it
That was
all. Like,
a good day.
that was a good day.
So we got the chance to, I don't know how many people they accepted for that day. I feel like 20 people in Orlando got accepted for that day because there was like nobody there. But we were able to get in for the pass holder day, and we were super excited. We weren't that excited about wearing masks in the heat because honestly, this was like our first time really having to wear a mask for a long period of time outside.
Right.
and it was in the heat of the summer. But we
Yes.
went and there was like nobody there, like nobody.
It was amazing.
It was
It
a
was
great
like
experience.
it was our training day, like going out
Yeah,
and wearing those masks the whole day, and we did pretty good. And we've adapted and changed in terms of our mask game since then.
definitely.
I
And then
I finally
something
found a mask that I liked, and you know, it's
we went
it's
we went
bearable
through
now.
the whole vent debacle of using a vent on your mask, and then they were banned, and so on and so forth. But we've moved on. We moved on from our training masks into our full-fledged masks.
And that was the beginning for me. That was kind of the beginning of TikTok. Um,
Yeah,
and then that led
yeah.
into us
We
doing
posted
our
our
TikTok.
first TikTok. Yeah, in July we posted our first TikTok. And that was when the restaurants started opening back up because we went to Tutu Tango.
Oh yeah,
That was our first TikTok.
did that blow up?
I don't think so.
Oh okay. I don't remember.
I don't think it did.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of then it starts to become like the rest is history, kind of, because once the parks opened, for me, I started going quite a bit back into the parks. Um,
Because it was really enjoyable. You know, it was like back in the day when there would be downtimes, like after the holidays, way back in the day. You know, January after New Year's and February used to be the best times to go to the parks. There was no crowding. Everyone left Orlando and went home, and we could have peace here as Orlando residents.
yes,
So it kind of gave me flashbacks to those better days of having the whole park to yourself.
absolutely. Like we hadn't experienced that in at least a decade, at least.
Well, and so, other than that one time we went the day before the hurricane,
Oh yeah.
that was a
Well,
good day
that's
too.
that's kind of a given. So anytime a hurricane's coming, go the day before it's supposed to hit the area, and there'll be nobody in the park. If the park is open, listen, if Disney is open, it's safe.
Just go because it's safe.
Yeah, it's Disney's not going to have the park open if it's not safe. So if the park is open, just go because it's going to be fine.
So also in July, I guess this was in July. I thought this was in August, but maybe it was in the end of July. I did a little road trip and I went to Dollywood for the first time, which I enjoyed a lot. It was nice to just get in the car and drive and do something fun
I feel
for the
like a lot
first
of
time.
I feel like a lot of people went to Dollywood, or not to
You think so?
Dollywood, but I feel like a lot of people this year went to like Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg. Yeah, I know a few people who've been, like Chloe. She went. Another friend of mine went. Like there's been quite a few people going that way. I think maybe because my boss is going
Really?
for Christmas, or the week between Christmas and New Year's. They're going and staying in a
Oh, that'd
cabin.
be
So
nice. In
like
the Smokies?
I
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I think that people, because it's it's kind of in the mountains and it's drivable, quote unquote.
Yeah,
You
that
might
was the
you
other
might
thing. Like,
you might argue that though, Steph,
it wasn't
in terms of
drivable for me,
drivability.
but for most, yeah. Um, it's always Dollywood has always been a place that I wanted to visit, mostly because they have a really awesome train there, and um, I wasn't going to be getting on a plane, so I had to think of what I could drive to that I haven't already seen a million times. Like, I'm done with all of Florida, done with it. Could care less. Nothing here I want to see.
You know what you didn't
Atlanta's out of.
mention? You didn't mention going to Atlanta,
I mean, I
because
went to Atlanta in March.
you went to Atlanta in the very early stages of COVID.
I did. I did go to it. I forgot about that. I mean, I didn't forget about it, but basically when everybody was terrified of flying and terrified to do anything, I was like, well, hell, I'm gonna take this like $30 round trip flight to Atlanta because my friend Cheryl was having her bachelorette or her bridal shower, and I mean, $30, you can't really beat that.
No.
So I had a great time. Quick trip. I mean,
Quick trip.
but that was in the beginning, really, before I thought too much about it.
Yeah, and if you
I
would
don't
have
know.
like in a few more weeks, I think you wouldn't probably have gone.
Yeah, I think so too. It's just weird to think about the progression of it all, but I'm glad
Yeah,
that I
because
went when I
we
went.
we I think we view things differently now. Like me thinking about Disney even even being open and with no social distancing and no masks when we were
Yeah.
with the guy digging into his cup with his finger, like
Oh,
that
gross.
seems weird. That time seems weird to me. Like I know that we will
Yeah.
come out of it and be back to normal, normal life eventually, in another year. But like at that time, it was weird because COVID was happening and there was no social
Yeah.
distancing and there was no
Yeah.
masks and there was no lines on the ground to tell you where to stand. And it was happening, yet we were like in a line of people. So
Yeah.
I don't know, just weird to think
Thank
about.
thank God we were stayed safe through it. But something
Yeah.
else weird, something else weird that I think about when I think about like my state of mind at the time was Cheryl also, we had planned to go on a cruise like I can't really remember. I want to say the beginning of April.
Hmm.
And I'm in this group chat with like all of her friends, and basically we're talking, and the girls are saying like, "Oh yeah, well I gotta call and see if we can get our refund and this and that and the other." And I was like, I'm still going." I was like, I don't care if no one else is going, but I paid and I have the time off work and I'm going. Like, and everyone else is like, "Oh girl, I ain't going. Hell no." And then here it's like it ended up obviously that it like the whole cruise line was shut down, but in my mind I was like, "Oh fuck it. I don't care. I paid for this shit. I'm going." But all these other women were like, "Oh no." But in my mind, it wasn't even an option to cancel, COVID or
Right.
not. I was like, "Hell, I'm going to
I'm
waddle around on
going.
the first on the party deck." I mean, all
I
right,
mean,
we gotta
we got a thing.
go
Let's
ahead.
play it.
I feel the same way. I actually went to a concert with over 10,000 people when COVID had just hit, but it wasn't news then. And now that I think about it, I'm like, oh my God, it was insane.
What
Yeah,
concert did you go to?
Angelica,
Who
what
was
concert
it?
did you go to? Yeah, but that's what I
10,000
feel. I'm
people.
like at the time, like we weren't thinking about that stuff, but now, like retrospective, like because now they're saying that COVID was probably around at the end of 2019. Like there's people that supposedly had the like some kind of survey was done and like people had the virus back in the late 2019 in the States, supposedly, is what I read somewhere.
The Mark Anthony concert when he came to Charlotte in early February of this year.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Hey, Mark Anthony. What?
uh, oh my gosh, yeah, 10,000 people, all like
Breathing all over each
totally
other.
totally oblivious to the COVID. I mean, we were kind of more oblivious then. I think we don't have the same mindset that we do today. That's for
But
sure.
the media hadn't got into our minds yet.
Man, I remember I watched the news, I think maybe the first really week that, we were told for work to just stay at home. And, in that first week or two of working from home, like I would watch the news. But then after that, I was like, I can't even like, and I wouldn't watch it for very long. I'd watch it for
I didn't
maybe
watch
like,
1 second of the news throughout
I, I'd
this
watch it for
whole
like
thing, not
maybe
even a minute.
maybe 30 minutes or an hour and I'd be like, no, I can't do this.
It would be draining otherwise. All
Yeah,
right, so
yeah.
moving on. Let's see. July, we did that stuff. And then in August, I saw our wild Florida photos.
Oh yeah.
We fed
Oh,
giraffes.
speaking of Wild Florida, you sent me the thing that they had a reptile building burned down.
Yes, they had a little
That's so
fire and some of
sad.
the animals died.
That was
So,
recently.
RIP animals.
RIP animals. But this is a good little a side attraction in Central Florida.
Pro tip is get there early.
Oh yeah, you
If you're
100%.
doing the
And
drive-through, if you're doing the drive-through.
don't expect the drive-through to be like lions walking next to your car.
Yeah, it's not going to be that at all.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine to do, but you know what the best part of this whole experience was the giraffe eating.
Yes, that was my favorite. I knew that would be my favorite anyway, but
For sure
um
that was my favorite.
I would
And
do it again.
we have a TikTok. Yeah, I would do that part again. Can you just do the giraffe stuff?
Yeah, you can just do the draft stuff.
Yeah, I think I
I
would
feel
just
like
go do the
I
giraffe
don't know,
stuff.
it's kind of far to drive though for just drafts.
Maybe I would
If
do.
anything, I would go back to the Brevard Zoo. I really like the Brevard Zoo a lot. They have a really nice zoo. They have a kayak. You can do kayaking, and they have a whole platform for the drafts. You can sit there as long as you want. That was the only thing about Wild Florida that I didn't like was that once you were done feeding, you had to get out of that area
They
because
push
they
you
were
through.
bringing more people in. So if you go to
Right.
Brevard Zoo, you can just chill on the draft platform for as long as you like.
You know, that might be a good TikTok, like how to spend time with giraffes in Florida or something. And like you could
Yeah, because
feature,
I've had several places in Florida where I fed drafts, so
yeah, you
I
could
just need to
feature
get
like
videos of them all.
even if you didn't have videos, I think it would be okay. Like even if you like, but like focus more on the videos that you have because you have the canoe video of you canoeing next to the giraffe.
And then I have
Yeah,
some pictures from the Brevard Zoo on the platform and the ones from Wild Florida. And I feel like one more place I did draft feeding. I can't remember where. I don't
it's
know.
something that I really enjoyed, and I know you enjoyed is during quarantine we watched that one movie about the giraffe, the woman who studies
Oh,
giraffes. What was that called? That movie?
yes. Oh, I loved it so much. I feel like it was like a woman in her giraffes, or just go on Amazon Prime and type in just giraffes and you'll see it. This woman spent her entire career studying giraffes and their behavior. But what I was most shocked with was just her character. Like literally, I wish I could remember what year like she started doing this in, but it was a long time ago. It was a time when a woman would have never done something like this. She literally just left, like when she was of college age, just left and like moved to Africa and bought some beat up old truck, off of somebody and just would spend like 10 hours out in the savannah just watching giraffes and like making notes and notebooks and case studies. And I mean, I just loved the movie so much. It was
Yeah,
really good.
it's a good film. So the name of the film is The Woman Who Loves Giraffes, and it's a 2018 documentary. Um, let's see where you can watch it on. You can watch it on Amazon Prime Video with a premium subscription. So if you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it as part of Amazon Prime. So that is probably the best way that you could watch it right now without any additional cost if you're an Amazon Prime member. I love how we just did a little commercial for that film right here in the middle
It
of
was
see
so good. It was
it,
so
it,
good.
I think you watched it and then I was interested in watching it. I think that was your second time watching it, or I don't know,
Yeah.
something like that.
I watched
But
it twice. It was so good.
yeah, it's good.
But anyway, let's move on to October. Christy came.
Oh, Christy.
We miss Christy. And Christy and I did some random stuff together. we actually took a little drive to Casadega, Florida, which I don't think I got to talk about this yet on the podcast or anything like that.
No, this is a great opportunity.
We went to Casadega, Florida, which is actually it's really not that far from the attractions area. Maybe like less than 40 minutes. It's pretty close, and it is the like they have a spiritualist camp there. It's the psychic medium capital of the world. So basically, it's a spot. It's like this tiny little. I wouldn't call it a town. I mean, I guess Casadega is the name of the town, but it's just like a little, like a couple blocks of like old houses that are like have people doing, readings in there. They have crystal shops where you can buy crystals and like different, psychic tools. They have a spiritualist camp where you can go and they have like workshops and they do like yoga and meditation, and they have like a Zen garden, and like it's just kind of like a peaceful place. And it had, I don't know, it had good vibrations to it. I liked they had a hotel, they had a restaurant. It's just like this cute little area. So if you're kind of into that thing, I would definitely take a trip there. It's just a day's worth, less than a day's worth. But after that, we drove the rest of the way to the beach. So basically, it was halfway between here and the beach. And then after we were there for a little bit, we drove all the way to the beach to watch the sunset.
Didn't you go to your favorite food truck that day too?
Yep. And then we got some food from our favorite food truck. Shout out to Molo's Miami Grill, man. The best friggin' food truck in Orlando. Well, I won't say that. I'll say that the dish that they have is one of my favorite dishes. This bang bang shrimp that they have, oh hell, it's so good.
It's very good.
Oh,
and they are based in Central Florida, and sometimes they are at the Tasty Takeover or Tasty Takedown. Which
Tasty
one is
Takeover.
Oh,
Takeover.
Okay. Not Takedown.
But I like how Takedown sounds. But that's in the Milk District. So usually once or twice a month, they'll be at that Tuesday food truck event. But anyway, yeah, Christy and I went there. Other than that, we just hung around here, did some just regular run-of-the-mill shit. How about you? Any more highlights that you have? Starting with October?
Starting with October? Oh, Lord, let's go into October. Well,
everyone's quiet in the chat tonight.
Yeah, everyone's quiet. If you guys have any questions, feel free. I mean, Troy hasn't even asked any questions, which is really odd because I'm sure Troy
probably because
listening.
you yelled at him when he asked questions last time.
No, he was prepared to ask questions this time because he was in my live before this, and he said he was going to ask. So I'm looking forward to his questions. Let's see. October, I went to Philadelphia in October. That was a fun trip. A road trip. I did a road trip up to Maryland, and from Maryland I took the train from DC to Philly, and so I was there for a week, and that was kind of nice to get away. And then I flew home, and I think I was a little bit shocked on the flight home because the flight was completely full, so it was just kind of an adjustment to like that mindset of sitting next to people during this time. But also they say that you're not so likely to get it on a plane because the way that the air is filtered, and my experiences have been that 99% of the time people are pretty good about the masks on my flights. But man, we've seen some horror story videos on flights with people not obeying of the rules. But let's see, we have a comment. I really wish they would tell us before we play the comment who it's from.
Have you guys picked up any new hobbies in 2020?
I mean, I
That's a
think
good question.
for both of us, our new hobby is TikTok. I mean, we
For
not
sure.
only, I mean, we started consuming it and then we started actually producing content. So I think that's definitely the hobby, and that's how we met a lot of you. Like, we wouldn't have a room of 7 people listening right now if it wasn't for TikTok. Like, it just period. That's on period.
Yeah, and I also have started and continued to learn sign language on YouTube. It's been a journey for me. I'm really proud of it because it's been something since I was a teen that I've wanted to do. I don't know why my heart has always been pulled to it. I literally don't know any people who use ASL. Um, so I continue to learn with these YouTube videos. Um, I'm really ready for the world to get like back to normal so I can start like going to physical meetings and groups because it's really hard. It's almost like my learning has kind of hit a wall as far as skills and things like that because you really need to interact with the people who speak the language that you're trying to learn. But that's definitely, I guess I wouldn't call it a hobby, but a new skill.
No, I mean, yeah, it's a new skill, but Stephanie was also very dedicated, so she did put time into it almost daily um, during the deepest, darkest hours.
And that helps keep me sane, something to keep working to and learning and keeping your mind sharp in between the hours of TikTok videos and the hours of Tiger King. I had to do something so my brain didn't rot.
But yeah, that's definitely two good examples, TikTok, and then for Stephanie, I'm trying to think if I had any additional. Not really. Um, Not really. So in October is spooky season. So we did stuff during spooky season. I'm gonna let Steph talk about spooky season.
We did some of the new drive-through events that actually both holidays, Christmas and Halloween, brought us um, a whole plethora of new experiences to try. Starting with Halloween, we did Scream and Stream and we did the Haunted Road. Both were socially distant activities, but the problem was, I think that, and Brian hit the nail on the head in our Halloween episode when he said that, Halloween and haunted houses are already set up basically perfectly for social distancing, sort of.
The problem
So,
is that people want money and they
yeah,
want to shove tons of people in there, but at the end of the day, that's not really how it should be.
that's
A
not really how the
true
experience should be.
yeah, a true experience to have a scare would, allow you to not see what's going on in the party ahead of you.
And
So anyway, that's my thought.
that's why you saw this year places like Halloween Horror Nights throwing the towel in and not doing their event altogether. And then we saw some places like Sir Henry's Haunted Trail thriving. I mean, when I tell you best experience, safest, did a great job of delivering the same experience scare wise, in a socially distant environment. They nailed it out of the park. So basically,
Well,
by the time that October rolled around, we were in a position where we can still do the same things, but these events had already started planning these car activities.
right.
Um, I don't know that if they held them again that I would partake, but I did like the Haunted Road. I liked the best out of the two.
Yes,
It
me
was
too.
definitely a different experience. It was something that added to all the things that I normally like to do for Halloween. But you know, I still had a great Halloween, regardless. Other than missing Mickey's Not So Scary for the first time in like 15 years. But
Right. Okay, I'm gonna play it. We have a comment. I'm gonna play it.
I just want to say that you guys have been my saving grace throughout this whole period and this year. Haven't done much, and what I have been able to do have been because of some of your TikToks. But you guys have just kind of kept me sort of like living through you, with regards to the things that you have been able to go out and venture out and do during this time that I have not been brave enough to do. So just thanks, guys. You guys are great, and I'm so glad that I met you through TikTok.
oh, that's so sweet.
We are too,
Thank
Angelica.
you.
By the way, Angelica, when are you going to
Aren't you
Disney?
here?
Like, are you there? Because I saw you post something about being at the beach. So are you on your
She
way to
was at
Disney?
Sarasota. I did a live when I was at the Gaylord the other day, and she said she was in Sarasota, I believe. Yeah.
Okay.
Either
Okay.
Sarasota or St. Augustine. I can't remember.
Oh well, that's somewhere that I went. Which I don't remember what month did I go to Sarasota. I think like June. I did like a short weekend trip to Sarasota, and that was the first time I'd ever been to Sarasota, and I like Sarasota. It's really
It's
nice.
nice. Yeah.
Um. So yeah, no, I think that um the Halloween events, like, so for next year, I think that there will be social distancing, but I also think that the houses will be back at Universal
They're just
and
gonna have
other
to cut that
places.
capacity in half.
I, I think
I
that they
mean,
just they have to do a reservation system, honestly. Like Universal has a crappy reservation system, and they need to build
I
out
mean,
a real virtual queue, and they need to build out just a better system.
because I
I
haven't
don't
gone to
know.
Halloween Horror Nights in probably, I don't know, I would say 3 or 4 years, simply because I cannot stand the crowds there. Like, it's insufferable to be there during Halloween.
Uh-huh.
It's just too much. It's not, it takes away from the experience.
All right, let's play these comments.
What is the biggest challenge you faced this year?
Let's play the second question too.
So we are in St. Augustine, and we were scheduled to go to Disney yesterday, and I made the decision to cancel, just because of the rising cases, and it's the week before Christmas. I'd hate to, get sick, not necessarily at Disney, but on the way back or anything like that. The week before Christmas, I'd really like to spend it with my son, so I didn't want to really risk anything. So we just decided to stay at the beach. There's no one here. It's pretty secluded. As if you've seen my TikTok video, there's not a lot going on, and it's just perfect just to get away for a different, just for different scenery.
Yeah, so Troy, will come back to your question about biggest challenge, but so I was watching today one of the people that I follow that does Disney stuff. She was going live from the Magic Kingdom, and I was like, oh my God, there's so many people there, and
Yeah, I went on
um,
Thanksgiving and it was terrible. I stayed for an hour. I got corn dog nugs and I had to get the hell out because it
and my
was so crowded
mom's.
that day.
We were driving to the place we had dinner tonight, and mom kind of got a glimpse of what I was watching. She's like, "Oh, do you miss being at Disney during the holidays?" And I was like, "No," because we're blocked out. We're pretty much blocked out right now anyway, and
You're not.
I think I think I'm going to be. I think like tomorrow it starts my block out, or
I thought you
Saturday
have to
starts
pass
my
the
block out.
no blackout days.
No, I have like 2 weeks for Christmas, New Year's, and then I have like Christmas or Easter week or spring break week, where I have those blocked out, and but you have the summer blocked out. I don't have the summer blocked out.
Oh, okay.
So there's like one between what you have and then like having all days available, and I'm in that one. I think I'm gold. So anyways, Angelica, I don't blame you too much, especially because I think that the parks are definitely busier, and like this is not a time of year that I'd want to even be in the parks really. Like I like to try to do my Christmas stuff in the parks like end of November, beginning of
Early.
December. And I unless it's a Christmas party, and then it's a little bit like better with the parties because it's a little bit more enjoyable during, especially during the Christmas parties. The Christmas parties aren't as popular as the Halloween parties, so they're to me they're not as like jam packed of with people. But anyways, I understand. So Troy, biggest challenge. Um, I don't know what my biggest challenge would be. I guess.
For me,
Go ahead, Steph.
basically, I had a challenge of just kind of, I don't know, like letting some of my friendships go or change or evolve or whatever it may be. The things that we went through this year, I think changed your, you know, train of thought and the things that you like value and things like that. And I had a lot of friendships that, either changed or just fell apart or just went away. And for me, that's challenging to have to accept that. So that was probably my challenge. Just emotional things that came along with what COVID put us through.
Hmm. I've had a challenge of, and I'm not going to go too deep, but my challenges this year have been in the latter half of the year and my perspective on people who I thought were leaders, and they are not showing me that they are like true leaders. And so it's kind of changed my perspective, and it's like in some ways changed my perspective about myself as a leader, and understanding that sometimes I'm more of a leader than I think I am because of some of the things I witness other people doing. And I'm not trying to focus on other people, but it's immediately in my surroundings. So, anyway, just that. That's all I'm going to say on that. And we have another comment coming in.
Hello, Brian. Sorry you're just now
Chris.
hearing from me. I've also had a terrible cough. But hello. Just wanted to say hi. And I hope I didn't miss Troy. I was on here in the beginning and I didn't see him. But I hope your podcast is going well. And hello, Stephanie. You don't know me, but hi.
Chris
Hey,
is
Chris, what's up?
Chris is a new buddy who I haven't met Chris yet in person, but she comes into my TikTok lives here in Oklahoma. And when people like throw out horrible recommendations to me, she's like, no, we don't go there. Or sometimes she helps me with my pronunciations of crazy Oklahoma words. So, because there's
What
a
are
lot of,
crazy Oklahoma words?
because there's a lot of Native American words that I don't know how, a lot of the Oklahomans know how to
Oh, yeah.
pronounce, and I probably did at one point when I lived here, but now like, that I don't remember, or you know what I mean? I didn't retain that from my Oklahoma history class that I took in university. But anyway, thank you, Chris, for saying hi.
Do you have any plans for 2021, and what are your New Year's resolutions?
Hey, Dawson, what's
Hey,
up?
Dawson. First of all, Dawson thinks he sounds like he has a list when he's on this app doing questions, but I
He
don't think
doesn't.
so. And
He
I
just
think,
sounds like he's from Canada.
yeah, he does. He sounds like he's from Canada, but I think Dawson has one of the best voices. I don't know if you think that,
Yeah.
but like his voice, whenever I hear his TikToks, I'm like, oh, it's Dawson.
Calming.
Like I want Dawson to read me a bedtime story.
Yeah.
Dawson, that's what you should do. You should do like
Maybe you should do 60-minute bedtime stories with Dawson for ASM, and then do hashtag ASMR, hashtag, radio voice, hashtag, soothing.
What are your New Year's resolutions?
Lord, that's a hard one. This year, I don't know, I've just been conditioned not to plan for anything because I've just been disappointed at every turn and bend. So I feel like if I don't plan anything, then I won't feel disappointment.
Okay, it's always expectations with Steph.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And managing those means not making any plans because then I won't have any expectations.
My New Year's resolution, I don't really have any resolutions. I don't know. I hate that word. I know Steph is not a huge fan of the New Year, and actually I'm not really either. Like I don't hold on to like the New Year like some people do. Like I just don't. Like I think in our minds we think of it as this like turning point. And
When
I
it's
guess
not. Every day is a turning point.
and I guess
Every day is a day to start being better.
what makes it feel like a turning point, I think, is because it's the end of the year and there's holidays at the end of the year and we're winding down from those holidays and we're shifting into, even if you don't have resolutions, you're shifting your lifestyle because a lot of people's lifestyle changes at the end of the year, whether their eating habits change or their activities change, the people that they see on a regular basis, that changes. And so it's a natural like shift back into regular life, you know what I mean? So I think
Yeah.
we have this concept of New Year and we put a lot of emphasis on it because it is a turning
From
point.
partying and
Yeah.
eating all the snacks and baking all the meals and
Yeah.
you have to kind of get back to normal of everything is not a holiday and everything is not an exception, just back to business as usual.
So for me, I want to continue to like learn and grow and like grow my TikTok, grow Orlando Out of Context, like grow all of those avenues, and just continue.
Of course, I'm still looking
growth.
for a husband, so
Steph is
I'm
looking for a husband.
Year, I'm looking for a husband.
So we might, I don't know, we need to like, maybe we should make a TikTok about that. But
every year for the past 15 years or more, possibly.
So I think for me, that's like, I have goals for both personal. We don't have any set goals for Orlando Out of Context, but I think that it's gonna keep growing. I don't know, like that's pretty much it. But I don't have any like resolutions. There's nothing that I'm gonna like resolutions to me is like you're stopping doing something or you're starting doing something, and there's nothing that I'm gonna stop doing. I'm gonna keep going, and that's it. There's another comment that came through. This is going to be another 3-hour episode.
Fine, I would love to read you a bedtime story, but I can't even read my comments on my live stream, so I don't think that's going to happen.
Dawson gets, Dawson, I think that it's comment anxiety. You get like this comment anxiety where like you like rush to read the question and then you read it like not correctly. Because sometimes Dawson will read the comments and I'm like, that's not what I said.
I know. He always.
I like to think of every year as opening up a new chapter on day 1 of January 1st instead of a resolution, because I never stick to a resolution. So I always say, this is just another chapter, that I can start, another story in my life. What's it going to be?
I think that's a good way to look at it.
Definitely.
So, what do we do in November?
I didn't have anything in my role. I'm sure we did a lot. I feel like we've done a lot. It's just none of it to me was like noteworthy. I feel like we do a lot of little things all the time. I mean,
well, we definitely
ask most of our friends, and they think that we're just down here like parading all over the place, getting COVID every single day. Like, literally, people who don't live around me, they think that I'm crazy for all the stuff they see on TikTok, and it's like, you don't understand. Like, we take all the precautions. Like, everything is fine here. It's just that in other places, life, I think we're all experiencing very, very different things throughout COVID, because there's still a lot of places where things aren't open, restaurants aren't open, like, and we here in Orlando, we've been living our life again since like May, June. Pretty fully, you know?
Yep, absolutely. I'm moving over to November real quick, just to see if there's anything that pops out to me. One of the things that I've seen all over social media, and we were one of the first people to cover, and we did a whole podcast episode, is the Night of a Million Lights at Give Kids the World. I think that that's one of the best events that we went to this year, and the best things that we did. Did you go back, Steph?
I told you, well, I don't know if I told you or not, but I tried to go back, and they're basically booked up. They're available like Christmas Day, and like basically the next 5 days, but like this week was all sold out. So I didn't get to go.
Did you reach out? Did you reach out to our contacts there?
I didn't, because I didn't
You
want
should.
to. I don't know. I didn't want to impose myself.
Oh, impose yourself.
But
you should impose yourself.
My other Brian friend, not this Brian, but we wanted to go, and Lou Gardens was sold out too, so that's why we decided to go to the Gaylord.
Gotcha. Well, I think that if you should impose yourself.
Maybe.
You want me to impose for you?
No.
I'll impose.
I mean, honestly, now I don't have any time. I work every day until Christmas now.
Well, I thought that you were. I thought you wanted to go on Christmas.
And I have some. Well, yeah, I kind of did, but.
Well,
I mean, if I go on Christmas, I'm not gonna have anyone to go with, so.
Okay.
I don't want to go alone.
Gotcha.
But
I would say that that's one of the best events that we went to all year, is the.
Oh yeah, it was amazing.
Night of a Million Lights.
But we didn't do that in November. We did it in December. That's why I wasn't thinking about it. Yeah.
Oh, crap.
Did we? Did we go?
No,
November,
we did it. No, it was November, because I left in
November. You're right. It was November.
Yeah, because I left in November. So.
Gil and I are going to the Citrus Tower in a couple days.
Yeah, so tell us what's happening at the Citrus Tower, which is something that we did this year that we didn't mention. We did go to the Citrus Tower for the first time, which if we were to create a list, which we do need to create like a top list of things to do in Orlando that's not the attractions, we should do that list. The top 10 things to do that aren't Disney or Universal in Orlando. That would be on it, I think, for me at least.
Definitely, I loved it a lot.
So what's happening?
I don't know, they still don't have many details on their Instagram or anything, so we're just gonna go check it out.
Okay, well,
because,
so
Gil lives
you're gonna do a
close.
TikTok? Are you gonna do a TikTok about it?
Of course.
Well, I can't wait to see.
Of course I am.
I can't wait to see the TikTok.
And we're going back to the Crooked Spoon, so I can have my beer cheese dip.
Listen, that beer cheese dip was real good. That was the best thing.
God damn, it was so good.
Yeah, that was real good.
I might eat just that.
Oh, okay.
Who knows? Can I get 2 orders of the beer cheese dip and a gallon to go, please?
A gallon to go. Oh my gosh. I mean, anything else, guys? Do you have any? I think that's pretty much it. Unless there's anything that you done anything that you haven't shared in December that we.
Well, I was speaking in the pre-show that no one was in the room yet, but I was telling Brian that I went to the Gaylord. This year, instead of ICE, they are hosting what is called I Heart Christmas Movies. And I thought that it was going to be like a wall crawl, selfie station type of event, but I was very mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
They take you in very small groups through the sets of some of the most popular Christmas movies. You have a production assistant who is your leader, and she or he will give you, tips about like how the movie was made, just some information, and then they will guide you through reenacting the scenes of the movie. So, for instance, I did when we got to the Christmas Story, they had the box where the leg came out of, and she was like, "All right, when I yell action, you're gonna dig through the box and look for your award," and then so they have like sounds and lights that will like go with you while you're doing this. So I was like digging through the box, and then she was like, "But don't touch anything, don't touch anything." So basically we're just doing charades here. So it was all right. I prefer ice. Ice is a tradition they have at the Gaylord. I'm not sure, we could have done ice the same exact way. I don't know why they decided not to do ice. But they had a sign at the end saying ice will be back in 2021. So
Yeah, I'm not sure why we couldn't do ice. Like, maybe there was some like other issues outside of just the physical distancing that was causing like a supply issue. I don't know why we couldn't do ice.
And then also we didn't get to see the Cirque show because we went early in the day and the Cirque show wasn't until later in the evening. So we didn't want to stay out and watch it.
Gotcha.
If you guys haven't done it, we only did a drive-by this evening because there were way too many people out for me, and about 50% were wearing masks. The Nights of Lights in St. Augustine is absolutely beautiful. I'll post the video that I did on TikTok, but it is a nice event, thing to come visit if you guys were ever interested. It was just a little bit too crowded for me, so we just decided to get back in the car and just drive through and see the lights, but it was really pretty.
I saw some TikToks of that event, and it had me a little bit interested. I was like, man, maybe I should take a little drive. It was pretty. It looked really nice.
Yeah, I've heard about that show before, but I haven't been there during that time.
I still need to go. There's a couple places that I want to hit up to check out Christmas lights celebration. Brian, you just told me about the church and celebration, and at the gym, Josh told me about a house over in Windermere. So there's a couple places that I need to check out. I haven't really done any lights neighborhood cruising this season yet. So.
Well, you could always do Jeter Bend in Celebration. They always have that massive. That's the street in Celebration. People have done, I think, TikToks on that before, but you could always do a TikTok on that for sure.
Yeah. So. I just got to get over there.
Was there anything else that you've done in December or wanted to talk about for December?
No. I've just been over here minding my own business.
How's the roof of our building?
Finally it's done, but I think they still have to put on the gutters. So
I feel like it's taking them a long time.
It was a hard couple days there. I mean, it was really loud and messy and annoying. And then also, I just got an email from the management here saying somebody reported that a dog is coming out of my unit and pooping on the floor, and I'm not picking it up. And I said, well, excuse me, ma'am, I have a front door camera. I can send you any footage you like. I'll send you footage of every dog that walks in front of the camera, and we can get the color of this dog that everyone is reporting, and we're going to figure it out. Because it's definitely not me.
Did you get a response back after you said that?
She said yes. I would love for any information you have in correspondence with this issue. So I'm gonna send her footage of all the dogs that I see on the camera. But I bet it's the dog next door, because that's the only dog I would think. There's only one other dog in our side of the building, so.
And we don't have
the dog next door.
The upstairs neighbors aren't there anymore, right? So they had a dog. They're gone. There's that really sweet woman that lives upstairs who always says hello. I think she would pick up after her dog. She seems like the type that would pick up after her dog.
I think it's the next door neighbor.
It's the next door neighbors.
Frankly.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Yeah.
This is another petty thing that we picked up through COVID. We got a front door camera, and it's just so fun to like kind of watch everyone and their behaviors and the things that they do and who comes in and out. And
man, when we first got that camera, there was some shady business at nighttime going down.
Oh yeah. In the middle of COVID, man, the people that live on the third floor of our building were having huge parties, like 20 people over, starting at 1 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Anyway. Well, I think that's it. If you guys have any comments, questions, this is the last episode of the year. So 2020 is coming to a close. I would love to say that 2021 everything is going to go back to normal, but that's not going to be the case.
I'm excited to see everyone's kind of like social media posts and what like the TV shows and stuff do, because usually this is the time where we start reviewing our year and posting our best memories and talking about how next year is going to be so much better and it's going to be our year and everything's going to be great. But we can't say that this year. I'm sorry. Yeah. We don't have the memories. It hasn't been a great year. Next year won't be a great year. What are we going to say?
Nothing. So I thought it was interesting, like how big the Spotify playlist was. Have everyone posting their Spotify playlist. I think that was bigger this year. It was bigger this year than it ever has been in years past. Because, what else do we have to really, say? I mean, we have stuff. I mean, I have stuff because, I'm an early adopter and I've been out and about like capturing content. We've been capturing content for people. But we're safe and we're sane about it. There's some people that are not, but anyway, but thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for hanging out with us. We have a lot of new people who are tuned into us because of our presence on TikTok and who are now our, like TikTok friends. Maybe someday we'll meet you guys in person when all of this starts to really settle down, but thanks for joining us in 2020.
Thank you guys for doing this podcast. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Yay! Bye without asking. I'm so proud of you.
We're gonna leave that. We're going to leave 2020 with Angelica's voice comment, and we're going to say bye. Bye. All right, guys. Until next time, bye.
Follow us on Instagram at Orlando Out of Context. Instagram is where you can connect and interact with us, as well as see photos and videos related to this week's episode.
Make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and iHeartRadio.